A sinkhole, also known as a cenote, sinkhole, shakehole, swallet, swallowhole, or doline, is a depression, a hole in the ground caused by some form of collapse of the surface layer. Some are caused by karst processes, for example, the chemical dissolution of carbonate rocks or suffosion processes. Sinkholes vary in size from 1 to 600 meters both in diameter and depth, and vary in form from soil-lined bowls to bedrock-edged chasms. Sinkholes may form gradually or suddenly, and are found worldwide. Formation. Natural processes. Sinkholes may capture surface drainage from running or standing water, but may also form in high and dry places in specific locations. Sinkholes that capture drainage can hold it in large limestone caves. These caves, in turn, drain into tributaries of larger rivers. The formation of sinkholes involves natural processes of erosion, gradual removal of slightly soluble bedrock by percolating water, the collapse of a cave roof, or a lowering of the water table. Sinkholes often form through the process of suffosion. For example, groundwater may dissolve the carbonate cement holding the sandstone particles together and then carry away the lax particles, gradually forming a void. Occasionally a sinkhole may exhibit a visible opening into a cave below. In the case of exceptionally large sinkholes, such as the Minye sinkhole in Papua New Guinea or Cedar Sink at Mammoth Cave National Park in Kentucky, an underground stream or river may be visible across its bottom flowing from one side to the other. Sinkholes are common where the rock below the land surface is limestone or other carbonate rock, salt beds, or in other rocks, such as gypsum, that can be dissolved naturally by circulating groundwater. Sinkholes also occur in sandstone and quartzite terrains. As the rock dissolves, spaces and caverns develop underground. These sinkholes can be dramatic, because the surface land usually stays intact until there is not enough support. Then, a sudden collapse of the land's surface can occur. On the 2nd of July 2015, scientists reported that active pits related to sinkhole collapses and possibly associated with outbursts were found on the comet 67P Churyumov-Gerasimenko by the Rosetta space probe. Artificial process sinkholes also form from human activity, such as the collapse of abandoned mines and salt cavern storage in salt domes in places like Louisiana, Mississippi and Texas. More commonly, sinkholes occur in urban areas due to water main breaks or sewer collapses when old pipes give way. They can also occur from the over-pumping and extraction of groundwater and subsurface fluids. Sinkholes can also form when natural water drainage patterns are changed and new water diversion systems are developed. Some sinkholes form when the land surface is changed, such as when industrial and runoff storage ponds are created. The substantial weight of the new material can trigger an underground collapse of supporting material, thus causing a sinkhole occurrence. Sinkholes tend to occur in karst landscapes. Karst landscapes can have up to thousands of sinkholes within a small area, giving the landscape a pock-marked appearance. These sinkholes drain all the water, so there are only subterranean rivers in these areas. Examples of karst landscapes with a plethora of massive sinkholes include Camuon Mountains and Mamo Plateau. The largest known sinkholes formed in sandstone are Cima Humboldt and Cima Martel in Venezuela. Some sinkholes form in thick layers of homogeneous limestone. The formation is facilitated by high groundwater flow, often caused by high rainfall. Such rainfall causes formation of the giant sinkholes in the Nakanai Mountains, on the New Britain Island in Papua New Guinea, on the contact of limestone and insoluble rock below it. Powerful underground rivers may form, creating large underground voids. In such conditions, the largest known sinkholes of the world have formed, like the 662-meter-deep Xiaojiangkang, giant sotanos in Querétaro and San Luis Potosi states in Mexico and others. Unusual processes have formed the enormous sinkholes of Sistema Zacatin in Tamaulipas, where more than 20 sinkholes and other karst formations have been shaped by volcanically heated, acidic groundwater. This has produced not only the formation of the deepest water-filled sinkhole in the world, Zacatin, but also unique processes of travertine, sedimentation in upper parts of sinkholes, leading to sealing of these sinkholes with travertine lids. The state of Florida in the United States is known for having frequent sinkhole collapses, especially in the central part of the state. The Merge area in southern Italy also has numerous sinkholes. Sinkholes can be formed in retention ponds from a large amounts of rain. Human uses. Sinkholes have been used for centuries as disposal sites for various forms of waste. A consequence of this is the pollution of groundwater resources, with serious health implications in such areas. The Maya civilization sometimes used sinkholes in the Yucatan Peninsula as places to deposit precious items and human sacrifices. When sinkholes are very deep, connected to caves, they may offer challenges for experienced cavers or, when water-filled, divers. Some of the most spectacular of the Zacatin cenote in Mexico, the Bosmansgat sinkhole in South Africa, Sarasaranama Tepuy in Venezuela, the Sotano del Barro in Mexico, and in the town of Mount Gambier, South Australia. Sinkholes that form in coral reefs and islands that collapse to enormous depths, so known as blue holes, and often become popular diving spots. Local names. Large and visually unusual sinkholes have been well known to local people since ancient times. Nowadays, sinkholes are grouped and named in site-specific or generic names. Some examples of such names are listed below. Black holes. This term refers to a group of unique, round, water-filled pits in the Bahamas. These formations seem to be dissolved in carbonate mud from above by the sea water. The dark color of the water is caused by a layer of phototropic microorganisms concentrated in a dense, purple-colored layer at 15 to 20 meters depth. This layer swallows the light. Metabolism in the layer of microorganisms causes heating of the water. The only known case in the natural world where microorganisms create significant thermal effects. One of them is the black hole of Andros. Blue holes. This name was initially given to the deep underwater sinkholes of the Bahamas, but is often used for any deep water-filled pits formed in carbonate rocks. The name originates from the deep blue color of water in these sinkholes, which is created by the high clarity of the water and the great depth of the sinkholes. Only the deep blue color of the visible spectrum can penetrate such depth and return after reflection. Cenotes. This refers to the characteristic water-filled sinkholes in the Yucatan Peninsula, Belize and some other regions. Many cenotes have formed in limestone deposited in shallow seas created by the Chicxulub meteorite's impact. Sotanos. This name is given to several giant pits in several states of Mexico. Tiankangs. These are extremely large sinkholes, typically deeper and wider than 250 meters, with mostly vertical walls, most often created by the collapse of underground caverns. The term means sky holes in Chinese. Many of this largest type of sinkhole are located in China. Tomo. This term is used in New Zealand karst country to describe potholes. Piping pseudo-karst. The 2010 Guatemala City sinkhole formed suddenly in May of that year. Torrential rains from Tropical Storm Agatha and a bad drainage system were blamed for its creation. It swallowed a 3-story building and a house. It measured approximately 20 meters wide and 30 meters deep. A similar hole had formed nearby in February 2007. This large vertical hole is not a true sinkhole, as it did not form via the dissolution of limestone, dolomite, marble, or any other water-soluble rock. Guatemala City is not underlain by any carbonate rock. Instead, thick deposits of volcanic ash, unwelded ash flow tuffs, and other pyroclastic debris underlie all of Guatemala City. The dissolution of rock did not form the large vertical holes that swallowed up parts of Guatemala City in 2007 and 2010. The Guatemala City holes are instead an example of piping pseudo-karst created by the collapse of large cavities that had developed in the weak, crumbly quaternary volcanic deposits underlying the city. Although weak and crumbly, these volcanic deposits have enough cohesion to allow them to stand in vertical faces and to develop large subterranean voids within them. A process called soil piping first created large underground voids, as water from leaking water mains flowed through these volcanic deposits and mechanically washed fine volcanic materials out of them, then progressively eroded and removed coarser materials. Eventually, these underground voids became large enough that the roofs collapsed to create large holes. Notable examples. Some of the largest sinkholes in the world are in Africa: Blue Hole, Dahab, Egypt. Around Sinkhole or Blue Hole, 130 meters deep. It includes an archway leading out to the Red Sea. It's 60 meters, which has been the site for many freediving and scuba attempts, the latter often fatal. Boesmansgat, South African freshwater sinkhole, approximately 290 meters deep. Lake Kasheba, Zambia, about 3.5 hectares in area and about 100 meters deep. In Asia, Ehardt sinkhole is in Mersin Province, Turkey. Its dimensions are about 150 meters in diameter with a maximum depth of 70 meters. Sinkhole, Oman, approximately 30 meters deep. Dashiwei Tiankang, Guangxi, China, 613 meters deep, with vertical walls. Bottom contains an isolated patch of forest with rare species. Dragon Hole, the deepest known underwater sinkhole in the world. Shaozhe Tiankang, Chongqing Municipality, China. Double-nested sinkhole with vertical walls, 662 meters deep. An 80-meter wide hole was discovered in the remote Yamal Peninsula of Siberia in 2014. Take Sinkhole, Oman, one of the largest sinkholes in the world by volume, 90 million cubic meters. Several perennial wadies fall with spectacular waterfalls into this 250 meters deep sinkhole. Berezniki, Russia. Unstoppable serial technogenic sinkholes over flooded potash mines and undertown buildings, roads, railways. Andhra Pradesh, Anantapur, India. Riverbed sink caused by groundwater use with no rains to replenish the area for the 6 years prior to the incident. Depth 30 feet, diameter 25 feet. In the Caribbean, Dean's Blue Hole, Bahamas. The second deepest known sinkhole under the sea, depth 203 meters. Popular location for world championships of free diving as well as recreational diving. In Central America, Great Blue Hole, Belize. Spectacular round sinkhole, 124 meters deep. Unusual features are tilted stalactites in great depth, which mark the former orientation of limestone layers when this sinkhole was above sea level. 2007 Guatemala City Sinkhole. 2010 Guatemala City Sinkhole. In Europe, Pozzo del Mero, near Rome, Italy, at the bottom of an 80 meters conical pit and approximately 400 meters deep. It is among the deepest sinkholes in the world. Red Lake, Croatia, approximately 530 meters deep pit with nearly vertical walls, contains an approximately 280 to 290 meters deep lake. Volovmeni, Greece. The sinkhole of Volovmeni is known as the Devil Well, because it is considered extremely dangerous. 4 scuba divers are known to have died in it. Maximum depth of 35.2 meters and horizontal penetration of 150 meters. Poldergaderi Island. This sinkhole is located in the townland of Kildare South near the mill town Co. Kerry at 52.132639 degrees north, 9.745944 degrees west, 52.132639 minus 9.745944. The sinkhole, which is located in an area of karst bedrock, is approximately 80 meters in diameter and 30 meters deep, with many mature trees growing on the floor of the hole. At the level of the surrounding ground, the sinkhole covers an area of approximately 1.3 acres. Its presence is indicated on Ordnance Survey maps dating back to 1829. In North America, Mexico, Cave of Swallows, San Luis Potosi, 372 meters deep, round sinkhole with overhanging walls. Cima de las Cotorras, Chiapas, 160 meters across, 140 meters deep, with thousands of green parakeets and ancient rock paintings. Sotano de la Lucha, Chiapas, bigger than Cima de las Cotorras and with lush vegetation on the floor. It can be reached through a cave. Sotano del Barro, Querétaro, 410 meters deep, with nearly vertical walls. Zacatán, Tamaulipas, deepest water-filled sinkhole in world, 339 meters deep. United States Bayou Corn Sinkhole, Assumption Parish, Louisiana, about 25 acres in area and 750 feet deep. The Blue Hole, Santa Rosa, New Mexico. The surface entrance is only 80 feet in diameter. It expands to a diameter of 130 feet at the bottom. Desert Sinkholes, Desert, Texas. Several sinkholes have formed, the most recent in 2008 with a maximum diameter of 620 feet and maximum depth of 150 feet. Devil's Mill Hopper, Gainesville, Florida. 120 feet deep, 500 feet wide. 12 springs, some more visible than others, feed a pond at the bottom. Golly Hole, Calera, Alabama, appeared December 2, 1972. Approximately 300 feet by 325 feet and 120 feet deep. Grassy Cove, Tennessee, 13.6 square kilometers in area and 42.7 meters deep, a national natural landmark. Gypsum Sinkhole, Utah, in Capitol Reef National Park, nearly 15 meters in diameter and approximately 60 meters deep. Kingsley Lake, Florida, 8.1 square kilometers in area, 27 meters deep and almost perfectly round. Lake Pania, New Iberia, Louisiana. Original depth 11 feet, currently 1,300 feet at Diamond Crystal Salt in mine collapse. Baltimore, Maryland, heavy rain results in a block's length of street collapsing into a sinkhole on the 30th of April 2014. Detroit, Michigan, a sewer pipe collapsed resulting in a large sinkhole on the city's west side. In Oceania, Harwood Hole, Abel Tasman National Park, New Zealand, 183 meters deep. Minier Sinkhole, East New Britain, Papua New Guinea, 510 meters deep, with vertical walls, crossed by a powerful stream. In South America, Cima Humboldt, Venezuela, largest sinkhole in sandstone, 314 meters deep, with vertical walls. Unique, isolated forest on bottom.